episode of the Whiskey Crusaders. I'm Will.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm Matt.
Today we're going to be drinking on some Thomas H. Handy and his rye whiskey. It is a BTEC release every year. We have in front of us the 2017 release.
Yes. It's a beautiful thing. 126.9 proof. So, Thomas H. Handy, he was born in Maryland, and at the time in New Orleans there was this famous thing called coffee houses that made a cocktail called the Sazerac. It was made with brandy and a famous man named Picard, and he made it with his special family bitters. Well, eventually, coffee houses sprung up all over New Orleans, and so then eventually Thomas Handy moved down there, started working as a barkeep for him, and at the point in time they became business partners. So he ended up buying the Sazerac Coffee House on Royal Street, which is apparently the most famous one. Anyway, so like I said, there was coffee houses on every street corner in New Orleans. Well, one of the things, of course, so brandy was the predominant thing. Well, at the time, they had a bunch of wars in Europe, and so they decided they weren't having a hard time getting brandy. So Thomas H. Handy decided to replace it with rye. And that became, and the American palate decided that rye was way better than brandy in their Sazerac. So basically, between the rye and the bitters, we had this beautiful Sazerac cocktail, which is still made today. You can ask for any bar. Most of them will be able to make it for you, not a problem. So it bears his name, and it's part of, like I said, the BTAC collection. This is a beautiful thing, and so let's get into this amazing. This is a 6-year whiskey as well. The predominant core ingredient, of course, is rye. It's once again same thing. It's going to be your Minnesota rye, your Kentucky corn, and your North Dakota malted barley.
And 126.9 proof.
Mm-hmm. Char 4. The Angel Share is not as bad in this one. The Angel Share in this one's only 27%, so it's not as bad. So this is like the younger brother to the Saz 18.
No, this has a much more bourbon-heavy nose than the last
Yeah.
rye.
Definitely.
This is definitely not a normal rye nose.
Yeah, this is much more sweet and corn forward. Your rye is there, but it's really in the background, to be real honest. That's why I think it works so well in the cocktail, the actual Sazerac itself.
Mm-hmm.
But the anise is there, but very much in the back. Like you said, much of your vanillas and oaks and creaminess. And
that black pepper ding is there. The anise is there. There's a little bit of that dill note, but
Some
most
citrus.
of it is transitioned into the mint note.
Yes, for sure.
Kind of fruity, like.
It is fruity. Like tarts.
Yeah.
Like a cherry tart.
See, and I'm getting more tropical fruits. I'm getting apricot.
Tropical?
I'm getting pineapple.
Okay, yeah, those are in there
lighter,
too. I think
it's
they're both
lighter,
in there.
and they're definitely tart. I don't disagree with you on the fact that they're definitely
Right.
tart and citrus forward fruits.
This proof definitely lets you know it's there for sure.
Uh-huh.
It is. It's hot. It's just storming out of the glass of your nose.
That's a wonderful
Yeah, it
nose,
wants your
too.
attention for sure.
Yeah, no doubt.
The lights are pretty on this as well.
Long and lingering.
Yes,
It's amazing for a 6-year whiskey what those legs look like. Oh, it smells so good. It's like the forgotten stepchild of the BTAC collection too. It's like everybody wants everything, but not that this. Oh, this is beautiful.
It's got a definitely has a different taste than most ryes. And again, this was on your top 12.
Absolutely, yeah, we'll definitely link that.
Link it up here. They did this one in the live stream.
Oh.
That's definitely a
so
different rye than a normal rye.
Yeah, it's very chocolatey and fruity compared to most ryes. And you got your minty, but there's really no anise or dill whatsoever.
Mm-mm.
No, I get a slight dill on the finish, like right before the finish, on the back of my tongue, before it goes down, and then it's a lingering finish, but the dill disappears, and it's replaced by the mint and the anise back there.
Yeah,
The fruit is in the front, slight dill, and then into the mint and the anise.
It's it's got that sweet vanilla. It's got that char. You can definitely taste the smokiness on it from that char level 4.
This finish is still going.
It's still going.
It is.
Yeah.
It's delicious.
It's insane.
Same thing. MSRP is almost $100.
Oh, this is worth $100.
Totally worth it.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible.
I'll be honest with you, $200 is probably worth it. I wouldn't pay much more than
Don't
that.
say that. We don't want them to jack it up.
They're not going to. It's been $100 for many, many years, which is great.
Yeah, the fruit on that really is surprising for a rye. I don't really find a lot of fruit forward rye whiskeys around.
But it is very fruity.
Yeah, it's very fruit forward.
Lots of berries.
What's your water do for it?
I haven't smelled it yet. I'm letting it sit.
Anticipation.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh?
Yeah, that made
Really?
the journey round and cohesive. All of the spikes, all of the edges kind of got filed away, and that became just a really wonderful, round, cohesive journey across the palate. This does really, really well with
Yeah, it
the
does.
water.
Doesn't change the nose.
No, doesn't change the nose. That is really, really glorious no matter how you want to drink it. But this is, I feel like this is something that you could explore and try to
Oh,
decide
yeah.
what you like in this. Do you want 2 drops or 3 drops or 4 drops or 8 drops or...
I think the water
It
actually
even-
spices it up.
Even
it's
even
really
hold up to a
spicy.
cube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That finish just keeps going and going.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the oil separated,
Mm,
the finish
good.
elongates quite a bit. That's really lovely.
Yeah, for sure. Well,
Yeah.
if you can get
Good
it,
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd buy it.
definitely.
So the BTEC releases are typically available around the November-December time every single year. So we're coming up on that now.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can
Keep
get your
your eye
hands on
out.
that, you know, I
Yep.
highly
Definitely.
recommend the Handy. It's one that most people don't gravitate towards
No.
nearly as much as they do the Pappies. So
Right. I think
this is
they're
easier
better.
to find, I think, than Pappy is, even though it's
Agreed.
released in the same series and all that. But
Yeah, I think this is a BTAC collection. I think is, it's just as well thought of, but it's a little bit easier to get than the Pappy series. I'll be honest, I think most of the BTAC's better than the Pappy series personally. Granted, I know that's a wheat whiskey and all that, but this is significantly better. So
All right.
I like the Rise. I really like the Sazerac. You can find Tom Chase Handy. You should buy one
mm-hmm.
for a reasonable price.
Yeah.
Reasonable price.
All
All
right.
right.
keep on crusading for better whiskey in your glass.
Cheers.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of my favorite rice.